Thank you for coming back to another episode of our Behavioral Infused channel. And I'd like to thank you really for staying with us for so long. We've spoken about the first two behaviors that we need to develop to be more consistent in sales, right? So we talk about the behavior of listening and the behavior of questioning. Now I just want to cover a little bit about the behavior of building rapport or building relationship. Many of people actually always tell me that it's difficult to build rapport. Actually, it takes a little bit more time to build trust, but to build rapport is almost instantaneous. Have you been to a function or an event, a networking event or function that you don't know anybody, but you ended up talking to some particular person the whole entire night, and you would have shared a lot of information, your personal information? If it has happened to you before, that's what we call instantaneous rapport, right? You build rapport very quickly, but over a period of time, you start to build deeper trust. Now, how did that happen? The question is always, how did that happen? How did you manage to find that one particular person out of a room of so many people to actually interact with and build that relationship with? Right? There's two principles to building rapport, and these two principles are very simple principles. If you understand it, and if you think about it, it actually makes a lot of sense. So the first principle of building rapport is when two people are like each other, they will like each other. So it's a very simple one. When two people are like each other, they will like each other. So when you have something in common, regardless whether it's a favorite sport, a football team, shopping, golf, whatever it is, when you have something in common, you tend to click. So the more you click, the better trust you have, right? So that's why the first behavior of listening and the second behavior of questioning is going to help you build rapport, because if you ask the right question, they give you the clues to what they like and what they don't like. If you listen hard enough, they will tell you actually what they like and what they don't like. So once you have something in common, it becomes a lot easier for people to trust you. The simple fact is that every time when we meet somebody new, there's always this wall of defense that comes up. Why does it come up? And it's because our conscious mind protects us. It's like I don't know you, don't come too close. Let me get to know you first, right? So that getting to know you part is something that we can a moment where we can actually use the first principle of building rapport. When two people are like each other, they will like each other. Find something in common, right? The second principle of building rapport is it's easier to move from agreement to agreement rather than disagreement to agreement. Now that's a no-brainer. If I disagree with you, of course, we're going to be in conflict. And that's, the opposite of building rapport. We're breaking rapport, as a matter of fact. But it doesn't mean that I have to agree with everything you say. If you say smoking is great, I can't say, yeah, I agree with you, unless I'm a smoker. But I could say, that's an interesting thought. I've never looked at it that way, but thank you for sharing that. I don't have to agree. Now, of course, when you are in agreement, it's also like the first principle where two people are like each other, right? However, we all have different opinions of certain things sometimes. So it's about how do we use our communication style or communication and persuasiveness to actually influence the person to see our point of view. So we could go back to using the second behavior of asking questions. Sometimes what I like to do is that that's an interesting comment. Do you mind sharing a little bit more? So the more they share, the more I understand where they're coming from with that comment, then I could find something in common there. Right? So the more that we have in common, the easier it is for us to build rapport. Building rapport is like looking into a mirror for the person. So if I look into a mirror and I see something that you are like me, so I would say, oh, hey, you know what? You're like me. I like you. So that's the simple way for me to explain how building rapport is not as difficult as you think it is. In actual fact, it can be instantaneous. It doesn't depend too much on anything, except that when the person is really shut off, then it becomes very difficult. But generally, majority of the people that you meet are very open to actually interacting with you, right? So this third behavior is something that we need to learn to build. It's not about just talking to the client or being able to communicate with the client. It's about really building that relationship that you have, giving them a good experience, that when they walk away, they may not have that level of trust with you yet, but when they walk away, they feel so good interacting with you that they want to come back and interact with you again, or they will always remember you. Like I said, if they don't buy from you today, it doesn't really matter. They may come back and buy tomorrow. And even if they don't buy from you, they have people and they know people that may buy from you. So when you have that relationship, it's not difficult for them to actually refer you to somebody else. And that's what we want. We always want lead. In sales, we want a lot of leads. And the best leads are testimonials from somebody who have a good experience with you, telling their friends and say, hey, you know what, if you want to buy this, go and see this guy. He's really good. He knows what he's doing. Those testimonials are the best because somebody have vouched for you. And somebody who has a good relationship with you, somebody who trusts you, have actually vouched for you. And that's what you're looking for. So when you go into the fourth behavior, which is closing sales, people tend to actually do it for you because they trust you. They have that relationship with you already. Okay, so that's what I want to share with you a little bit today on the third behavior that we need to change is building rapport. Learn to build rapport. Use the two principles. The first principle is always the easiest. When two people are like each other, they will like each other. So find something in common, right? Even if you don't have, ask questions about it, because when you start asking questions about it, the other person's subconscious is going to think that, hey, you like this thing too. So you like me, right? I may not know anything about cycling, but I can ask a lot of questions regarding cycling. Let the person talk about cycling so that the person thinks that I like cycling too. The subconscious will think that, right? So think about that, reflect upon it, right? Rethink your strategy again in building rapport and see how that works for you, right? So if you like what you hear today, again, click on the like button, subscribe to us, right? And look us up on our YouTube channel or on our other social media like LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook, right? Leave us comments, leave us questions if you have, and come back to us in next episode. Okay, so for the time being, stay home, stay happy, and peace out.